What's up, guys? Jeremy Conn here. It's the Lowdown. It's all brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. Appreciate you guys checking this out. Where to start? So, if you click the like and subscribe button, that helps us out. If you click the notification button, that will help you guys out and let you know anytime one of these gets posted. Let me see if I have my sheet from last night of all the stuff I was looking at. As I told you, it's a hot mess over here, and I think I should get a notebook. But, so yeah, let's just do this. We'll talk about, I think I had it on both sides of this. Anyway, doesn't matter. I want to talk about the inner circle, the concrete inner circle. You hear me talk about it at the beginning of the show. Just absolutely killed the board on Thursday night and came back Friday with another winning night. Wish I hadn't added UCLA in to my college plays because as I was doing my write-ups today, I was like, yeah, I went 3-0, 3-0, back-to-back nights in college hoops. I'm like, all right, this is – I'm not saying 3-0s happen every night, but it's better to start seeing these winning nights, especially when you had an 0 for 5 the other weekend and – you know, a couple of losing days to start the season. And when I say losing days, it's like 1-2, 1-3. But over at the Concrete Inner Circle, it's just been great. So if you text Inner Circle to that number, you'll find my highest rated system, the way that we have it set up. So if you like making big bets, this is the one for you. Love you guys to check it out, see if it's, if it fits. But it's got to be something that's got to be right for your style of betting. So if you're not placing big wagers, nothing wrong with that. But I do think if you are, this is something for you to look at. You'll find out what my top plays are and how they're rated. That being said, let's move on. As I talked about having a winning day on Friday, still pissed about the Oregon under. On the wrong side of it is I said Oregon's probably going to have to get most of it themselves for it to go over, and they got 42, and the total was 45.5, and Minnesota ended up with 13. So bad play there. Clemson tried to give away as best they could, fumbling down on the 1 yard line. I don't get this Clemson team, and I hate betting on them, but I'm glad to get the win last night. And in college hoops, really kind to me the way that things went. As I was talking about it, UCLA wasn't good. I had Iowa. I had Kentucky. As I've said, I don't like taking big favorites, but I thought Kentucky was a puffy pants game, and sure enough, it was as they blew them out. And what else did we have? Oh, Cal Poly, Montana to go over the 170.5, and that hit as well. So starting to really put together my shootouts, which I think has always been my specialty in college hoops, is finding these games that shoot out. And to start off the season, now I think I've rattled off 3 or 4 in a row, but to start off the season, it's like, oh, I got a 172.5, and we scored 169. I got whatever it is, a 156, and nope, we can't score in the first half, so we're going to get close in the second half, but we're still going to finish 4 or 5 points underneath the total. So stuff like that. But college basketball was really good to me last night. Same thing with the NBA. Had the Heat who blew that one late. But I didn't make the Heat an official play on the site, but that was one of the games I liked. I talked about it on the morning show. The only NBA play I think I made an official play was the over in the Hornets game. Went to overtime, but that was just an absolute shootout anyway. So, yeah, I've been clicking here in the NBA and college hoops, and I think you're going to start to see that add up on the side of you'll start to see me on more leaderboards. As I said, in the NHL, I had 2 NHL plays on Saturday. The sad part was, full disclosure, I talked about getting I had such a busy day on Friday morning with recordings, doctor's appointments, weird stuff going on at the radio station, meetings and all that. And when I was doing my handicapping, I didn't pay attention to the 2 o'clock start until it was too late for the hockey game. So I didn't even get my hockey play up, but it would have lost in the afternoon, but I still get to put together my win streak since I didn't have it put up. I would have been on it. I talked about it on the morning show, so you can count it as an L. But yeah, I've been seeing the NHL really well, and there were 2 games Saturday that on any given day would be 2 of my favorite plays. So I put them in a triple play with my favorite college basketball total, my Saturday shootout, which happened to be Grand Canyon to go over the total, as I thought they were in just such a great spot against St. Louis. Up-tempo game. Wouldn't be surprised if one of these teams dropped 100. And I like BYU. Just to run over my Saturday card real quick before I get to what I'm looking at on Sunday. College football, my favorite play. God, what is wrong with me? TCU plus 3.5. I think TCU wins outright. I've been talking about that game all week against BYU. I think it's a perfect letdown spot for BYU. And I know, some people could look at some of these games we've talked about. I wanted to bet Georgia Tech this week, but I can't because I feel like they come out and they need to have a showcase game. Next week's Georgia. So I ain't messing with it. And the same thing with, I mean, if we want to look at some of these other games, like Michigan head to Northwestern, they've got Ohio State in 2 weeks. I was looking at that game. I'm like, oh, man, if they have Ohio State next week, what a cherry spot for Northwestern. But it wasn't. So they get Maryland, and they should probably throttle them. But we'll see. But that being said, yeah, so like on Saturday, I love TCU. I like Texas plus the points. I was on the Oklahoma-Bama under. I like Duke, again, unranked team, facing a ranked team and the unranked team's favorite. Coastal Carolina was one I put up late. I like Notre Dame. I like Indiana. I mean, it's like a 44.5 point total, and Indiana's a 29.5 point favorite. So conventional wisdom would say if you like Indiana, just parlay it with the over. But I wouldn't be shocked if this was a 41-0 game. You know, like, just wouldn't shock me. But I have no problem parlaying those two together, even though that's doing nothing for you now as I'm talking about it. But we did talk about that all week long. So let's get to these plays because got a busy day today. My wife and I are heading down to like near D.C. and Georgetown, and my wife's so smart when it comes down to it. I was looking up things. She doesn't have weekends off a lot, so I'm taking her. We talked about the concert at Maroon 5 on Sunday. We're seeing Sunday night. And then, so she had a Saturday off, and I'm like looking at all these different things, and we're close to D.C. and really close to Baltimore City, so we're like kind of smack dab in between where it's, you know, maybe a 30, 40-minute ride to D.C. and 20-minute ride to the city if we want to go down. So I looked at all the things going on the weekend, sent her a list, and we found this like secret food tour. Well, my wife started researching it, and then she's like, well, I found all the places they go. Do you just want to do our own little tour and hit these places? And I'm like, yeah, it'll save us some money, and we don't have to be beholden to storytelling time walking through Georgetown about who did what here and whatnot. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll be watching some college football on my phone. Just don't tell my wife. But every once in a while, business decisions, man. Happy wife, happy life, as they say. All right, let's get into these NFL games. Here's what we have. I'm going to start off with the Texans and Titans. Texans are minus 5.5. Total's 37.5. And, man, is that a low total. Titans defense isn't good, but the Texans offense isn't good either. And the fact that Davis Mills is going to be starting here. Titans coming off a bye. Man, it's just ugly. I'm going to take Tennessee plus the points. That's going to be my lean. I can't bet Houston minus the points like this on the road, even though I think their defense is outrageously good and they could win this game for them. Looking at how low that total is, they're telling me it's going to be a lower scoring game, so I'll gladly take the points with any chance. Even if the Texans get up, double digits, 10, 12, there's still that chance for the back door. I'm not saying I handicap for that, but I'm just saying I try to look at all the outs. Like if you were playing poker, you try to figure out how many different ways this could go. In a game that's supposed to be lower scoring, I'll take the points with the home team and the Titans. Full disclosure, I am not betting this game. I didn't just throw it in because, look, it's a lighter slate, and I'm on, I want to say 6 or 7 of these games, and I'll end up giving out a freemium or two here and a couple of prop plays. So let's move on to the next game, which I do like, and I have a play on the side here that's a premium play. So I'm going to give you the prop plays I like in this game. Seahawks are at the Rams -3. Rams are favored by 3, 48.5 is the total. I saw 1 or 2 3.5s out there. So I think I've said this before. When I'm putting up my plays, I usually put them up early. So there is a chance that if you purchase the pick late, that the spread is a little bit off, that it's moved a point. And that could be a point not in my favor, more or less in your favor. More times than not, though, it is a point in my favor, which always makes me feel weird about this. But you have no other way to go by it. Like, you can't sit here and say, okay, it's not like horse racing where everybody's going to get the same line at the end. It's just a point where I look at games like this and trying to find value and trying to see which way you should go in these spots. But the problem is if you put it up early, anything can happen. And I do think, so like the way it goes on the site, if I'm putting up plays, we have a list of like, I don't even know how much I'm supposed to say, 10 sports books up there that you can pick from that have spreads. So let's say there are 9 of them that say 3 and 1 that says 3.5. I'm not taking the 3.5. Other cappers may, that's on them. I'm not taking the 3.5 because it's a huge difference when you get it, and if only one of them has it. Now, if there are 10 plays up and 5 of them have 3.5 and 5 of them have 3, yeah, I'm going to take the 3.5 because I think there are more viable options or more outs for people to find that at a sports book. So yeah, I'd never try to skirt the issue with it. And fact of the matter is, like, more times than not when I come on here, it's like, I'm not going to count that as a win because I don't know what line you got. what was the game? Oh, the Texas game was the perfect example. I gave it out in the middle of the week. It was 2.5. Friday, it went to 3. Saturday morning, went to 3.5 when they were playing Vanderbilt. And Texas jumps all over them. It's just belt to ass, beating the crap out of them. They miss a field goal, and you're looking at it going, yeah, please don't come back. Please don't let this happen. And sure enough, you're watching it unravel, and they come back, and they lose by 3. So whenever you got the line, you pushed, won, or tied, depending on when you bought it. So it was just another one of those frustrating games. So, yeah, it counts as a win for me. But if you bought the play and didn't buy it down to 2.5 and you only found it at 3 or 3.5, which I totally understand, it ends up as an L. But I feel like more times than not on here, on the Thursday nights, the Monday nights, and when I decide to throw prop plays in, because, again, I do have some premium plays up on Sunday with some free prop plays. But this is one here. Seahawks at the Rams. Rams -3, 48.5. The 3 props that I like in this game, JSN, that's Jackson Smith and Jigba, over 1.5 receiving yards. The way to beat the Rams is through the air on the outside. This guy is turning in one of the best receivers that we don't talk about enough amongst the best receivers. You know, like all those names up top, like, and they deserve to be there. Don't get me wrong. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, to me, they're on a level of their own. Then we can start talking about CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua. Now JSN's going to slide in there. And I'm not dismissing anybody or leaving anyone out. There's tons of great receivers in this league. But just talking about some of the guys that I think are the upper echelon. And there's a few other ones around the league that are going to be really, really good. But also with JSN going over his receiving yards, I like Devontae Adams under 5.5 receptions. He is a little banged up. I'll take the chance if he plays that he doesn't play as well. And I like Matthew Stafford under 2.5 passing TDs. And why do I like that as much? Is I feel like if they get down there to the red zone, there's a chance that Kyron Williams or Blake Corum punches one in. I also think throwing 3 touchdown passes in a game against a really good defense is tough. So when I'm looking at this, and I know Stafford's thrown 3 touchdowns in a bunch of games this year, that's why this ends up being a prop that people look at. But I'll gladly take the under here and pay a little extra on it. So moving on to the next game, this is the Ravens at the Browns. This is I think the next 2 will be freemium for me, although I got to go back and double check. I'm not sure I put either one of these up. They might be up on Saturday, but I have 5 or 6 NFL plays up. But I do like both of these games. And I'll start off with my hometown team, the Baltimore Ravens. They're favored by 7.5 at Cleveland. 38.5 is the total. I think the total is very telling on how they think this game's going to be played because the Browns offense sucks. Browns defense really good. Will the Browns offense suck enough to leave the defense out there so that they start sucking? That's the big question. And that's what happens in games. You have a great defense. You have a subpar offense. Subpar offense gives you short fields, which leads to points. Subpar offense goes 3 and out, which leads to you being out on the field longer and then wearing out in the second half. And then teams that have good run defenses late in the game don't have good run defenses anymore. So it's something to look at this game where literally anything can happen. But I'll say this much. So the Ravens, this is their 3rd straight road game. Now, the caveat is they had a road game, bye week, back-to-back road games. They went on the road this past week, find a way to win against Minnesota. Kind of, I don't want to say dominated the game. It was hanging around. They got a turnover, and then they never looked back. So they held on, win that game. Now they go to Cleveland, where I think 3 out of the past 5 years, they have not swept this Cleveland Browns team, and Cleveland catches them when they're at home. And Cleveland is a team, I think there are 2 games every single year that Cleveland circles. Home against the Ravens, obviously with the Ravens used to being the Browns, or used to be the Browns, used to being. And then, of course, the Steelers, who have been their longtime rivals. So they circle both of those games. And I feel like this is one they have circled. I will take the Browns plus the points here, even though I know people don't want to click that button. I do think it's the right side. I could see the Ravens playing a close game. Hell, I could see the Ravens being up double digits and then giving up a late touchdown, and here you are. Oh, we won by 6. We won by 7. I'll gladly take it over the 7.5 for a road team here in a divisional game. And I understand the Browns aren't good, but Myles Garrett has played his ass off against this Ravens team. So give me the Browns plus the points. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. Detroit at Philadelphia. Philadelphia -2.5. Totals 46.5. And here's what I see. I think this total could go either way, so I'm staying away from it. And I've said this numerous times. I think Detroit is the better team. I think they're the best team in the NFC. They might be the best team in the NFL, especially if they're playing at home. But I do think this spot is right for Philadelphia. So I'm going to be taking the Eagles minus the 2.5. And I've been saying it all year long. I feel like this Eagles team thinks, how do we want to put it? there have been other teams. We've seen the Lakers do this. We've seen the Bulls do it where you're kind of coasting through the season. Oh, it's the playoffs. Let me flip that switch and just kick everybody's ass. Feels like the Chiefs have done it a couple times where it's like, yeah, this Chiefs team, this is their year. They're not going to make it. And then all of a sudden they come out like gangbusters and beat everybody's ass in the postseason. Like it typically happens. That's how I feel about this Philly team, that they're expecting to just flip the switch whenever the playoffs start. And I don't know it's going to be that easy. You got wholesale issues with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley, up until a couple of weeks ago, hadn't had a 100-yard rushing game. What's going on there? They're so good. They're so talented. But I still think there are chances for things to go awry the rest of the way. But I do think they're the right side in Sunday Night Football. So give me the Eagles. All right, guys, I got to step out of here. I'll be back with another podcast tomorrow about Monday Night Football. I'll have the prop plays ready for Monday Night Football. I was trying to think if there was anything else prop-wise that really jumped out at me. I did write down all my props somewhere, somehow. Oh, yeah. So I liked Troy Franklin to go under receptions in the Broncos-Chiefs game. In that 8:30 game, or the night game, I like Dallas Goedert under 4.5 receptions. He's juiced up to -150. I was on a lot of under receptions this week. Adams, Franklin, Goddard, and Kyle Pitts under 4.5 receptions, -110. So those are my favorite props. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, we talked about, over the 100 and 100.5 receiving yards, I believe is what it was. It might fluctuate just a bit. All right, guys. Appreciate you watching this. I'll be back tomorrow with prop bets, everything Monday Night Football, talking about all the stuff going on there and recapping what happened on Saturday. So good luck. Hope you win some cash. I'll see you then.